You're listening to Dumpster Diving with
Janice,
and Jane. All
girl,
right.
this is it. This is
This is
it.
it.
We're about to change. If we haven't changed lives already, we are about to change some lives. So, Rose, are you listening?
This is so
Hey,
scientific.
who's our other friend?
Jaw's gonna
John.
love
Thank
this
you.
too. Yes.
John, are you listening? Okay. So it's November 11th now. Based on our track record, it could
Yes.
be January 2nd before we post this. So let's be honest with
Totally.
everybody. But we had some other thoughts in mind, but both of us were pleasantly surprised when we went on the socials this morning and realized that November 11th is a thing.
It's a
The
portal.
portal, the portal is open. And
Open
so
for
we started
manifestation.
talking about that for our listeners. We started talking about that, and then we were like, we just have to friggin' record. Like this is too much. And Jane, admittedly, you have what am I gonna say about this? More experience in this realm, I feel like, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have tarot cards, let's put it that way, which makes you more of an expert than me because you have your
Okay.
own tarot cards.
I do. I do.
So I am going to lean into your expertise to get us started. And I will say I've heard many, many of the things today. One that really grabbed me, and I'm actually going to do the exercise this woman put forward. So, but evidently, if I play my cards right today, I could be wealthy. Oh,
Me too. I've been
tell me
getting
all
the
about
same
it.
messages. I've been getting all the same
Whoa, whoa,
messages.
whoa. I'm not the only one. Everybody's going to get wealthy.
Well, well, I mean, so let's talk about it.
All
Let's
right,
talk
let's
about it
go. All
because
right, let's do it.
because all
Help
of
us
so
understand.
I'm seeing, okay, algorithms are algorithms. If we look up one thing or like one thing, we're going to love everything, right? And
Exactly.
so I like started giggling when you brought this up. Like, did you know that November 11th is a portal? I'm like, bitch, please. Like, I have been seeing this for weeks, weeks.
I so for me, November 11th is all about Veterans Day because I have a veteran in the house. So nobody told me. The question I have for you is, do the veterans know there's a portal?
I don't know if they do. And maybe this is where they're going to connect the dots. They're going to listen to this episode a week late,
If
two
I
weeks
go to
late.
Krispy Kreme for my free donut, is the portal there?
Where is this portal? Okay, so okay,
All right,
all jokes aside,
I'll be
because
serious.
actually this is something that a lot of people take very seriously, which is
Yeah,
astrology when it
absolutely.
comes to, I mean, the Indian culture. Like everything's built off of an astrolog the star chart, and everybody has one, and they match them for like marriages. And I mean, it's very prevalent in a lot of cultures. And so I think in America, just, it's, if we go back, it's attached to witches and, pagans and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Before there was religion, there was paganism, and
True.
there, it was all about worshiping the earth and what it
Right.
gives to us, and
Yeah,
its resources and everything else, earth, wind, earth, air, water, fire, those are the
right.
elements, and so everything's based off of that. It's based off of the solar system, it's based off the moon. I have my little moon phases behind me because
Ugh,
you know what, whether you
perfect.
believe in moon phases or not, their moon phases control the natural world. I mean, fish, birds,
Right.
seeds. I mean, the sun rules everything, and so we cannot drop the fact that we live in, like, if you really think about it, we're on a big rock.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gravity and
Right.
all these creatures, and we're creatures of the earth and stuff like that. And like, so if there's going to be a god and mythical creatures and all these things, we got to believe in everything, right? Like,
Right.
until you can prove to me that it doesn't work or it's not real,
Right.
I believe in it. All right, so let's go.
Hold on. Sasquatch.
Hey, I've seen some videos where they're like howling and
Loch Ness.
and I'm like, Loch Ness, I don't know. I mean, prove to me that Nessie's not real. I mean, they made a
All
movie
right.
about her. I mean,
All right. You're
how
right.
not
Actually,
be
they
real?
made a movie about her. You're right. Never mind. Real. Go ahead.
I mean,
Continuing.
Free Willy, Nessie, whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, this is something that a lot of people take very seriously. And what I've noticed, all right, lean in, everybody. What I've noticed is that our age group, especially white women,
Hmm.
are really leaning into the astrology right now online. Like,
They
I'm
really
not
are.
mad at it. I'm not mad
No,
at it. I find it, it's, there's so many things to it, but it's like almost like, because to me too, like, I'm paying more attention to that kind of stuff because it
Yeah.
seems more real than our life right now.
Right.
Like the predictability and all of that stuff, like our life is just so like, you know,
Yeah.
and so giving you something to have a little bit of belief in, be able to, you know, it's the same thing as manifestation, it's the same thing as
Yeah.
praying, it's the same thing as everything else. It's making what you want to accomplish in your life or come to fruition, and through manifestation or reading cards or whatever it is, it's, if you look at the book that goes with the tarot cards, it gives you the answer to everything, every card, and tells you what it means, the good side and the flip side.
Sure.
So it's just like taking a survey on where your mindset is and stuff like that. It's stuff to aid people in visualizing their future,
Yeah.
you know, and putting positive vibes out there, and maybe like being realistic with themselves and going, oh, I didn't look at it, you know, if you deal a card upside down, you have to look at the south side of it, you know,
Right.
the negative side of it. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that is going on in my life right now. What do I need to think about? Like I have a book where you actually journal what your thoughts are as you're reading these cards and stuff like that. So
Huh.
it's very thought provoking. You start thinking outside of the box. So I feel like our age group is starting to use these tools
Yeah.
as aids to like motivate themselves. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with it. And so that's why
No.
I giggle because there's so much of it. And I actually have some people that I know personally that were in fields that were very maybe corporate and stuff like that. And
Sure.
now they're reading tarot cards online to people.
Right.
They're doing readings. And so I think it's kind of cool though. So it's fun. That's my point of view on it, like,
Right.
you know, in a nutshell. But that's all the stuff that floods my brain when we start talking about it. It's very intriguing to me.
Well, and it is, I mean, I don't even know enough to be dangerous, so I can't speak to it except for what I hear you say and what I've, heard myself. But what I appreciate about what you're saying is like it comes across as very mystical and mystery, but really it's not, right? There's a lot
Right.
of science, there's a lot of fact. Even you saying like with the tarot cards, there is a way each card is interpreted. It's not as if each person's making it up, right? It's like,
Right.
no, this is what they mean and this is what they say. And when they present themselves in a certain order, this is what you can take from it. And which also then makes more sense that so many, to your point, women have kind of gotten into this
Yeah.
because in the past, if you had said reading tarot cards, I would have assumed like you needed to be a psychic or you needed to be a
Right. Right.
and no, right? There's enough kind of a structure to it
Yeah.
that's not the case. So yeah,
Yeah. No, anybody can have tarot cards. Anybody can use them. They were originally used as playing cards, you
right.
know, and in back in the pagan days, you know, they used tarot cards as like a fortune teller or whatever before there was religion and Bibles and stuff like that. And
Sure.
so, you know, as soon as Christianity came around, they're like, oh, that's bad because, you know, they're doing it in parlors and this, that, and the other, and you know, that witch over there. And so now all of a sudden it's bad. But you know, it's really a way to again manifest what you want, you know, like
Right.
I am a spiritual person. I heard a
Yeah.
quote the other day and I was just like, that is so true. So religion is for people, it said religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who have already been there.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I was like, bingo, bingo, bingo,
Wow.
bingo, bingo. Because I find spirituality in anything. Like I have little Buddhas in my house, I have crosses, I
Right.
have everything, you know, a little bit of everything. And it's just whatever makes speaks to my heart, you know, and it's
Yeah.
whatever I feel that presence in or what
Yeah.
reminds me of that presence. So,
Yeah.
you know, people are like, oh, you know, the idolization and the symbolism and blah, blah, blah. You know, even that, like I don't put a million Buddhas in your house. If it makes you
Right.
happy, you know, if you like
Yeah.
tarot cards,
Exactly.
I see it as a way for me to open up my mind and think about things in a different way, you
Yeah.
know?
I love that thinking. That quote, yeah, that quote's very thought provoking from the perspective of Joe and I were having a similar conversation just this weekend around this idea of spirituality versus religion. And we don't see them as a verse, we see them as different forms of a belief system.
Right,
And to your point, where he and I have so much synergy is if someone believes in something and it doesn't hurt anyone else that they believe in it,
right.
what the fuck? Why do you care?
If it's
Like
making them happy, who cares?
and I know that there's a core system around, I'm not getting into it because I literally don't know enough to speak to it.
Yeah,
But I know there's a core system around the benefits to some institutions when you tell your group of people that they can't be, you know, a good blank, fill in the
Right.
word, unless they recruit others, right? That's a whole thing.
Right.
So if you put that aside, I love that idea that like I don't want somebody to believe in something because they fear something else. I don't want the reason
Right.
that you behave a certain way to be because you are scared of hell, for example,
Right.
right? And so yeah, for me it's about like we're put on this earth to make it better, whatever
Right.
that looks like, whatever
Right.
shape that takes. And if my beliefs don't impede yours and don't hurt you in any way, then let me have joy in my beliefs. And if you believe my beliefs are going to result in me going to hell or do like whatever, some terrible thing, well then that's mine to decide. That's mine to
Right.
have. That's mine
Right.
to
Yeah, I don't need to be
uh,
saved. Yeah.
exactly. So and again, I'm very respectful of the people in my life who are earnest about feeling like they need to share the word with other people. Like I'm okay with that even too, as
Mm.
long as if somebody says thank you, moving on, that you respect that too,
Yeah.
right? That
Exactly.
it's that way. Anyway, we got all the way down into that. So the one that I was saying to you today that that what the one that one woman who caught me, she like I said, like you said, like this is a portal. I don't understand all that stuff. You gave me a little bit of light to it, um but what she said that struck me, and I think it struck me because I have been wanting to do this, and I used to journal and then I stopped journaling, and I've never journaled like dear diary, here's 2 pages on my life today, but more of like gratitude and that kind of stuff. And so what she said today was that, and it's all in the auspices of what some of the others are saying about like you're manifesting what you want or whatever. So she suggested journaling around 4 prompts, and I'm going to do that. I literally like I have a whole stack of journals that I don't write in, so I grabbed one that I've written in before and I put it on my desk to like make myself remember it. Um, the first is 11 things for which you're grateful. And I always love that
Oh,
because we
because the
know what our
number.
brain does.
Yep.
It has a significant positive impact on our brain when we reflect on gratitude. So 11 things for which you are grateful. 11 things that you have learned. 11 things that you wish for. And then 11 ways that you have served or are serving others. And first off, I love the idea of 11 because it's always easy to come up with two or three. You
Mhm.
have to really think about yourself
Mhm.
to come up with 11 of them. So I really love that. And it's this space, I'm in this space right now. You and I have had lots of conversations about this where it's like, um, as I look ahead to the next, hopefully 40 years, what do I want that 40 years to look like? And what do I need to do now to make that possible? This whole
Right.
idea of the vision for your life, you mentioned that earlier. And what do I have to do now to make that possible? How
Right.
do I want to spend my time? How do I want to use my resources? So it just came at really good timing because there's a part of me that feels a little stuck, right? In terms of like, I'd have to take some pretty big leaps of faith to do something drastically different. And I'm constantly worried about the what if and where would the funding come from and all those things. And another woman that I listened to said she was focused on money. And she was focusing on like that shift from the lacking mindset that you have to actually unwire your brain from constantly going to, I can't afford that. I can't to
I
having
will have it.
a
Mhm.
plentiful mindset, right? In order to make space for that. So anyway, so I'm gonna do that today.
Yeah, I like that. I wrote that down because it's always good to do like a little exercise like that. And I hadn't seen that particular video.
Yeah.
Um, I saw a couple other ones, and I chuckle because remember chain letters?
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh
Oh
my
my God. Talk
God.
about
Chain
blast from the
emails.
past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chain emails and chain messages and stuff like that. So now
Oh,
I'm seeing these posts on Instagram that's like, you're going to be rich, you're going to get $20,000, you're going to do this, but affirm yes and share to the third person on your WhatsApp for it to make it happen. Okay, look, like that shit, like I'm so tired of seeing that crap, and like and it sucks you in because you're like, should I do it, should I not do it,
I
should I
know.
do it, should I not do
I
it, I
know.
don't know. I mean, because if I do it, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're like, I'm
I want the
100%
money.
positive that message is not in the stars right now.
Yeah, that message, I'll like the message and then keep moving on. But
Right.
What I do when I see that is I affirm, yes, I need to make more money. Yes, I need to, because again,
Yeah.
like, my situation is I'm building out my coaching business right
Yeah.
now. And I had, really great talk with JP, our friend. Hey, JP.
Hey,
And he's
hey.
amazing and I love him so much. And he helped me kind of organize my not my thoughts, but like what I should work on first. And so
Nice.
I have that, and that's what I'm going to start working on. And that's what I needed.
Yeah.
I have a I showed him my spreadsheet and my business plan and everything, and he was like, "Wow, this is really great." He was like, and he was labeled as accountability coach. He goes, "Oh, is that my role?" I go, "Yes. Right now, I'm employing you as my
That's right.
free accountability coach."
You're doing it pro bono, of course.
Of course, of course. That's what friends do.
That's
Okay.
my friend said.
That's what
It's true.
friends do for poor friends.
It's
No.
true.
And so he just laughed and I was like, I'm gonna use you for so much more. You know that, right? I love you. I was
Oh
like,
my
but
God.
I was like, having that little bit of accountability, I said, it
Yep.
will help me. And so he was like, okay, I'll do what I need to do. And I was like, okay, cool. But just having that, that support and stuff like that. So I don't know why I went on to that tangent. What was I?
Well, you were talking about, kind of along those same ideas about like, I am going to have this.
Oh,
I
I'm
do have
working
this.
on those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but it's then putting forth the the steps to do so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's really where these manifestations and these portals and stuff like that, they're also telling you to let go of the self-doubt. They're
Yeah.
they're telling you to let go of just, let it go, whether
Yeah.
you're, a God-fearing human and you want to put it
Yep.
in God's hands, whether you want to say Jesus take the wheel, whether you want to say
Right.
whatever. But that's really what it's saying is like, it's going to happen. You got to be positive about it. You got to keep
Yep.
manifesting. And it's not just one day you go and manifest and write out these 11 things and you're going to have 20 grand dropping into your bank account.
Exactly.
It's about the
Yeah.
mindset and the outlook of
Yep.
moving forward. And with the tarot cards, there's different ways to read them. And so I was thinking while you said you were talking about like how you evaluate, you can do a dealing of the tarot cards in past, present, and future. And then you read the card, you figure out what
Ah,
the card
okay.
means. And then it's like, okay, my past, this is what I need to pay attention to. This is my present, and then this is my future, and so
Okay.
there's different ways to deal them out. There's different ways to do different things. So if you're curious about that stuff, you can go online and figure
Yeah.
it out. But there's really cool books out there too. And you can
Right.
get cool decks and stuff like that. They're kind of like a novelty thing.
Right.
So, mine are like tattoo art ones that have like gold
Yeah.
and stuff. They're cute. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the stuff that, you see it and it kind of sits in the back of your brain and you're like you said, there's a science behind that positivity piece, that gratitude piece, et cetera, in terms of the impact it has on the brain. But it is really easy to a day, a week, a month, and so
yeah,
suddenly it's 6 months, 6 years. The other cool thing I heard in this vein today, and notice that we're giving nobody credit because I haven't marked any of these posts, so I
that's fine.
can't tell
Yeah,
you who any of these people are. But thank you to all of you who provided our incentives for today. Um, so this gentleman was talking about, he had three rules, but the one that stuck with me, he had kind of like three rules about how he navigates every year. And one's like, do something that scares me, right? Like which is something I had on my list that I did not do. Um, Although, hey, I still have what, 2 months, not quite left. So we'll see.
something fun.
Um, but one of the ones that really struck with me is he said, every year you should be able to look back on and say, 2024 is the year I did blank. Like there should be some big thing. So he's like, it's the year I quit smoking. It's the year I ran my first marathon. It's the year I blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be wellness related. And that really stopped me too, because it made, it's so easy for us to get into this phase of our lives. And there's a rhythm, which isn't a bad thing. There's a routine, also not a bad thing. But suddenly, like you can look and it's like a year, 2 year, 3 or 5 years, and it's like you've lived your life, and that can be enough. If like that's totally okay. But I loved the idea of like, what's that big thing, right? Like, what's that one thing that I made sure that I did this year, right? And so, Joe and I are having lots of conversations now that Cami is going to graduate high school this year. She's our youngest. So even though we have a quasi empty nest practice going on now because she spends a week with us, a week with mom, back and forth. It's not the same, right? It's not the same when your kid actually goes to college, and it's certainly not the same when they actually like get their first place and now they've officially moved out. And so we've been talking about like as much as like we're always together. We both work from home. On the weekends we do stuff together, etc. Um, but we've talked about like like needing to be intentional about a couple of things, right? Are we going to pick up cycling again? Are we going to pick up like those things that don't involve just hanging out at our house, but actually involve us going and, doing or what have you? Call them hobbies, whatever you want to. But
So
anyway, so now I'm trying to remember how I got down this road. But I think it's like that whole again, where do you want your life to be? And what do I have to be doing today to get there? Right. Because nothing happens by accident. That's the
yeah.
key.
Well, and that's, I mean, that's a lot of the workshops that I'm building right now too,
Yeah.
is all about how to move it. We can
Yeah.
say all day long, oh, manifest and meditate and yoga and you know, see your psychiatrist, do all the things, that to make you better. But if you're not acting in those ways and actually making changes in your life to improve it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you can
Exactly.
manifest all you want, but it's all about the actions that you're taking. And by doing the manifestation and putting it out in the ether, your brain starts changing, and you
Yes.
start noticing you're doing things differently, you're moving
Yep.
differently, you're just as easy as it is to do things in the negative, because we quickly go into the negative.
Yeah.
It's all about going back into those old routines, when we're going back into the negative. But it's about the action,
Yeah.
it's about the putting it forward, it's about having really achievable goals for yourself, and really being realistic with what you can achieve and what you want to achieve. So
Yeah. It's reminding me like again, I think that rewiring of the brain is such an important part of this conversation and of this thinking. Because it is easy to look at this stuff and be like, oh, it's touchy feely, oh, it's ridiculous, oh, it's silly, whatever. Um, but I do buy into the brain science, right? And so, I don't know why this flashed into my head, but the first time I ever remember hearing the word affirmations, I'm sure I was a kid. I don't know how old I was, but it was on SNL.
oh
Remember
wow,
like the initial
yeah,
SNL seasons where Pat was one of the main characters, like gender neutral Pat before gender neutral was a
yeah,
thing,
with
right?
anything, yeah.
Right? And I remember there was always that sketch where Pat would stand in front of a mirror and like repeat positive affirmations, and it was so funny and because it was so ridiculous and it was so. But now what I know is that, and you just said this, our brains automatically default to the negative.
Yep.
That's why we have all this conversations and all the stuff about negative self voice and that kind of stuff, right? That seems to be our default mode. And so we really do have to be intentional about saying the positive stuff in order to start rewiring so the negative goes away. Because we can say all day long, I'm going to stop the negative self talk. I'm going to stop the negative, blah, blah, blah. But until we replace it with something and force our brain to think about it differently, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It is an intentional thing. And that's why, I think that's a big part of the reason I do the wellness coaching that I do, right? Is because it allows me the opportunity to remind people of that it doesn't happen by accident. And no matter how silly you feel when you write it or you say it or you force yourself to think it, if you don't do it like a gazillion times, you're gonna 6 months from now you're gonna slip right back, right? Because our brains are just defaulting that way.
Yeah, well, it's all about creating the habit. There's healthy habits too.
That's it.
We think about habits as a
Yeah.
negative thing, but no, there are healthy habits in there. You know, it just I bought online on Amazon this teeny tiny little vinyl sticker, and in
Yeah.
cursive, lowercase cursive, it says "Hello, beautiful" in white, and then it has a teeny tiny little red heart. I put it on my
Oh,
rearview mirror,
yeah.
my car,
Yeah.
because it's like that daily remind, like I'm in the car,
Oh
and
man.
it's like "Hello, beautiful," and it's like thanks,
Yeah.
like just that is even being nice to yourself,
That's right.
reminding yourself that you're beautiful. I gave the girls each one, they could put it on their mirror, their
Oh,
bedroom, or wherever they
I
want
love that.
to,
Yeah.
but it's just that simple reminder that you're beautiful, and just little tiny things just like that that will help change your outlook. I mean,
Yeah.
change your environment, cleaning it up, getting it
Yeah.
organized, making it beautiful. Hey, this is not a green screen. This is
I
my
know.
stuff
You got it
behind me.
going on over there.
I didn't have to buy a damn thing because I had it all in my garage from
Yep.
other, offices and stuff like that. But it was like it made me feel like, I mean, a couple episodes I'm doing the kitchen,
Yeah.
and I'm doing sitting in my bed. No,
Yep.
no, I need to not do that anymore.
That's right.
And I need to get my office back together and reorganize. So just even clearing out space in your home, just, revamping stuff, depression's a bitch.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that this year, all year,
Yeah.
and I'm still struggling with it. There's days where I'm like, not today, Satan, not
Yeah.
today. Like
Yeah.
I'm just I don't want to.
Yeah.
But working on my mental health and talking to somebody and doing the things that I need to do and stuff like that, I'm getting my energy back, and I'm getting
Yeah.
and so taking advantage of it, getting my office back together, because
Love
I
it.
know that if I can clear that space out and make it livable again, that I'm going to be successful. So just
That's
doing
right.
things like that. I could have sat in my bed and continued to work and stuff like that,
Yep.
but I refuse. I'm not
Yeah.
going to work in my bed,
That's
because
right. Oh my gosh.
that feeds into it,
It
so
does.
environment, climate,
Yep.
everything, you guys, everything. So manifest your asses off. Talk out
Man, dust
loud.
your asses off.
Yeah, like seriously, like talk nice to yourself. I have conversations with myself all the time now because I need to
Oh,
hear
heck
it
yeah.
out loud.
Yep.
And you said something about doing your wellness coaching, but it
Yeah,
helps you too because you're
it
saying
does.
it out
That's
loud.
exactly right. Yep.
And if and coaches have a different outlook and everything else because we are so positive, saying things out loud to other
Exactly.
people, we
It's so
believe it
true.
too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we have bad days, and yeah, I was depressed. That was a chemical imbalance, like
Yeah.
there's nothing, that I could do about
Yeah.
that. But having the emotional intelligence and knowing that something was wrong and going, I need to talk to somebody because
That's
this
right.
this is not me.
Yeah.
That was my inner coach. I
Yeah.
listened to my inner coach. So train your inner coach to coach you when times are rough, and what do you need to do? Who do you need to talk to?
That's right.
What do you think about that?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that, like you said, so often I think it's not that we don't, as coaches, we don't have bad days or those moments, but we do have this opportunity to say those things out and affirm them for other people. And in doing so, right, it's filling our own buckets and it's affirming it for ourselves. And I think you're right. I mean, I think we're saying the same thing that again is as fantastical or over the top or whatever you want to call it, that some of this stuff sounds like, at its core is this idea that this life's going to be what we make it. And again, nothing happens by accident, right? It's all about like understanding that vision of where we want to go and then charting a course to get there. And I love that you're talking about the shifts that you're seeing right now in this season of your life, and just those little nuances of what a difference it makes, right? When you create order around you, what a difference it makes when you invest time in setting up the environment so that it feels good to you and you kind of get good vibes. And for
Right.
me, I think that, I think the reason that manifestation um piece, the 411 things, struck me so much is because I am in this moment where I'm just like, I know I want to take a big step. I don't know exactly what the step looks like. And because you and I've talked about this, because we both have our hands in so many things, how you take a step that will help you narrow. Um, this feels right to me, like right time, right moment, of being able to say, okay, I'm just going to give myself 20 minutes just to put this down. And I have a feeling just by doing that, it's going to make me go, huh, you know what I mean? And kind of
What
make
made
me
you
think a
think?
little bit more clearly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's exactly what happened to me when I was, thinking about my business and everything else and how am I going to do it, and what do I want to do? And so it was talking things out with myself and really thinking about it and everything else. And it came to me and I was like, holy shit, I got it.
That's
Like
it.
I got it. Okay,
Yep.
cool. We're good.
I got it. I
You
can do
know?
this. Well,
Yeah.
and it was, I mean, I think we were offline when we were chatting about that last week, and it was so great to just see you lit up, right? Because, and I am so great that you're tapping into, or so grateful that you're tapping into JP, because I know that that accountability partner is a key piece there, and you need somebody who's gone down that path, right? Like I can't
I
help
need a
you on that
cheerleader.
front because I
Yeah.
haven't gone down the path. I can help the cheerleading, but I can't help no, this is actually the step, right?
Right.
I haven't done it for myself. So,
Right.
then you're going to do
Exactly.
it, then you're going to do it for me. And it's going to be a beautiful chain of support.
It is. It
I
is.
love
It
it.
is.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, you people. All right. So we're like 30 minutes in. I think this is perfect.
Yeah.
This
Little
literally just like
thought for the 11/11 portal day. We
I
should just
know
post this today.
oh I know we need if you record it and put it and
Yeah.
I'll just do it
We'll just do it now.
immediately. because I just love that, we both saw those things in our own spaces, and then we hop on the call and it's like, oh, I'm into it. And it's like, this is what we need to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So
Let's
I
talk about
love
it.
it.
So manifest your asses off, everyone. And
That's a bumper sticker. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Manifest my ass off. Manifest your ass off. I like it. I like it
yeah,
a lot. All
yeah.
right. Put it in your swag list on your spreadsheet.
Oh, I actually I have a confession.
Okay. Ooh.
I I have a little gift for you that I'm going to bring you on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
It's very much in tune with our podcast, and I think that
okay.
you will really love it. They're just some cute little like, tchotchkes, but
Oh my
uh,
gosh, I love it.
super cute, and a sticker. But I found flaming dumpster stickers, and
Oh
they
my God, that's amazing.
yeah, yeah, it says what does the sticker say? Oh my god. It says I can't remember what the one sticker says, but the other one's like dumpster fire rescue team. And I'm like, that's us, so yeah, you have some stickers coming to you. And
Dumpster fire rescue team. I love it. I
a
love it.
response team,
I love it.
response team.
Response team. That's better. That's better. I love it. That's
Dumpster fire
amazing.
response team. I was like, that's totally us,
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
the
All right,
laptop
you
sticker.
guys. Tune in next week. And for all the things, and remember that one of our intention moving forward right now, because I think this is episode 48 or 49.
I think
So
it's
we
oh
need to,
wait,
I don't know
oh
if
yeah,
it's
because
50.
if we're not posting in order, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's either
we
48 or 49. Yeah.
yep.
So I think the next recording we do is going to be 50. So we have to
And that was our
really,
goal for the end of the
I
year.
know.
So everything
I'm
else
so
is a
excited.
bonus.
Yep.
Woo!
So, but remember, dumpster dive jj@gmail.com. We would love to hear your things, topics that you want to talk about, questions that you have that we could offer some advice on based on the
Yeah,
expertise that we have, etc. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. And otherwise, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Peace
yeah.
out.
Thanks, guys. Bye.